and or length for flow and pressure simulation. And you'll understand that here in a minute when we get into the actual slides from the program. Water lines, sizes, and lengths are actual. Locations of added infrastructure that's going to be mentioned is just proposed. And of course the locations are just kind of guesstimates of where we would like them. Nothing has been purchased or anything like that. Scenarios are ran solely based on flow and pressure of our system, and the customer base increased dates are also guesstimated. For our first scenario here is our current infrastructure and current customer base of about 1,300 customers. That is the total meters that we have out there, not necessarily the total that are using water. About 250 to maybe 300 less than that is what has actually been using water the last few months. This is a viable system according to this model. Provides ample flow and or pressure. There are a few exceptions, like Randy has mentioned a few times in the meetings during, very cold, freezing months. Also during drought type situations, the system can get almost maxed depending on those parts. This is a snapshot taken from the actual model. What you're looking at here, of course, is the map, and then our system on that map. All the little dots are basically, they're called nodes. They basically represent a house system. So there might be 10 houses on one dot, there might be one, depending on where it's located on the map. So that just kind of dictates how many customers we have in those little areas. As you can see, there's no red dots, and that is a good sign. That means everything is working. If there's a red dot, it would be negative pressure, which means below 20 psi on those nodes. And that's an indicator to us that we cannot give them enough water if it's a red node. So the first scenario works as we are right now. Second scenario, we added in the proposed subdivisions, just the few that are actually ready to build right now if we say we have enough water. That adds about 300 more customers to the system, and that's from today to 2030, depending on how fast they build. That's a guesstimated time frame. Current infrastructure, negative pressures begin to be present with the majority near or at additional customer base locations. So that tells us that when they build these new subdivisions, the pressures are decreased in that area. And so it's located near the construction of the new buildings. System will not provide ample flow or pressure, so it is not a viable solution. And here is a snapshot of that. As you can see, the red dots at the bottom, that's near Cedar Hill Road. Also a little bit of Republican Road, and then on Solomon Grove Road in the middle and towards 285 where it meets that junction. So those areas are close to where the new subdivisions are proposed to build.
Those are the high points that feed to those subdivisions. So in other words, it'll pull the water down away from those. It'll be pulling it through faster than it won't keep the pressure up in those areas.
Good. The third scenario, we decided to add a new master meter to the system to see if that would solve the solution. The problem, and be the solution. Same 1,600 customers, same infrastructure except for adding the new master meter. And of course, we put it over on the main line of community water near Guy. Millbridge Road is really kind of where it ties into our current system up there. Installing new water main from the master meter, the proposed master meter, to our current line on Millbridge. Same negative pressures are created as in the last scenario we just showed you. And the system will not provide ample flow or pressure. So it's the same problems, same places. As you can see here in this snapshot. Almost the exact same dots are red. And you can see over here on the far right is the new master meter proposed spot that we added into the system.
What's the yellow?
Yellow just means the pressures are around 50 to 60 psi. On the far right, well, the far top left, you can see the bar graph of what that means. Red, yellow, green, blue. The flow is not really accurate on the colors on the lines just because we didn't go in and tell it which direction the water's flowing in each single segment. That can be done if we decide to go further into the process. Scenario 4, say propose subs and adding a new tank. The new tank, we decided to go ahead and add close to our current master meter by the 25 Highway 65 junction, where we actually purchase water now from community water. It's approximately 235,000 gallon standpipe tank. It's the same size as the one we have down Old Highway 65. Also installing a new main line from our master meter to the tank, and then from the tank, we proposed going down Shortcut Road, boring under 65 and tying in on Cedar Hill Road to get more water to the system where all these negative pressures have been showing up, seeing if this will solve that issue. System does work, no negative pressures or issues, and it provides good, ample flow and pressure. As seen in this snapshot of the same model, it is all green, blue, and yellow. The only red you see down there at the bottom right is actually the master meter. That's just because it's the color of that icon. So it kind of got confusing there. So this scenario shows that the new standpipe works. And it allows our system to grow up to this 1600 mark as the program shows.
That's approximately 300 new.
I'm sorry?
That's approximately 300 new.
It'd be approximately 600 new from current being used, but yes, 300 added to that. That's where it gets confusing. So we're using a 1300 base. Yes, you're right. 300. Scenario 5, future development. So we went in and added all of the properties that have been talked about by landowners or developers, or just our thought process of where they might want to build in the future. That adds about 1,000 new customers, so almost doubles basically our system. And this is what Randy and I feel that we need to be looking at, because it's highly likely going to happen pretty soon. We put a date range in there of 2035 to 2050 of being when that we could get to this point. All the scenario number 4, proposed subdivisions are included. Added hypothesized development spread throughout the entire system, so these are not just located up here in town or just down in the Republican Valley area. It's spread out across the entire system. It also includes the new tank that we just went over. And numerous negative pressures were developed. So just the tank doesn't get us to the 2,000 mark. It worked in the 1,600, but somewhere in between, it fails. To know that, we'd have to go one by one and pick where the new customers would develop. And there just wasn't a whole lot of time to do that. Here, the negative pressures are shown actually up here around town. There's a few down Solomon Grove, but the majority are right here in the 285-65 junction in town. And as you can see, the new master meter not on there, it's just the standpipe tank down by our current master meter. Scenario 6, the final scenario, is the same as 5, except that we add in the new master meter in conjunction with the new tank to the south. And everything in scenario 3, everything in scenario 4, all that's in here together. So when we get to that, the snapshot becomes viable. The new master meter here, in Guy area, the new tank down south, no red nodes, that means our pressures and flow will work. So overall, this scenario would be the one we would go with on future plans, or our goal, I guess you would say, to have both a new tank and a new master meter. Any
When
questions?
you go back to the current, like, back to,
Slide one,
yeah,
the snapshot or the?
just, I mean, where we're at like now, or
Okay.
whatever.
This part of the slide.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, that's the current system snapshot of everything running correctly.
Okay. My only thing is, seems like in every scenario, we're not doing anything about us.
The current,
I mean, we're yellow, and we stay yellow the whole time, which means we're just barely close to being there. And everybody else is getting green and blue, and we're expanding down further away from town, and we're improving all them. And we've got little 2-inch lines that have been there since the 60s and 70s that we're doing nothing for. I mean, which is not gonna affect me. I mean, you're talking 50, I'll be dead, it won't matter. But I'm just saying, we're not looking, I mean, that right there is staying yellow, and it's yellow in every single slide. We're not doing anything about in town.
correct, and this
So
scenario model was just built to see
For our
if we could
expansion?
provide water for expansion. The scenarios that you're talking about have been addressed between Randy and I in the shop, thinking the same thing, and Randy can talk. to
right,
that.
because they're gonna have to be approved at some point.
Correct.
I would think, I mean, they're,
Let me come up there. When we first, let me get up there and then I'll talk. You'll have to chase me.
Archer's dead.
When we first started looking at this, we were looking at a master meter, a guy, which would bring water from Millbridge through our existing 4-inch there, but we'd be running an 8-inch for future. So you're putting 8 in now and then need to go.
right,
So we just end up connecting to the 4 at the end of Millbridge and then come up, about 4 miles up, Batesville Mountain Road and come off the mountain over here, just across from, the end of Scratch Gravel. And then put in a section of 8-inch from that 4-inch line down to the end of our 6, which would bring water in down here at, Scratch Gravel Road, right into town. That didn't fly. It didn't help where the growth is, right now.
right.
And that's something else that, we've thought about. We talked to the engineer today. But right now, this is about the best we've got. If there's a way, there may be some ways to go in and change our whole system. That's something that we hadn't, of course, the more discussions you get into with an engineer, well, it's more money. So, there may be a way to modify our south end the Millbridge might work. Any way you want to look at it, we kind of put some estimates with this, and a water tank now, the cost of a tank is, I think it was $5 1,000 is what the engineer's estimate, just threw that off the top of his head. So that'd be around 235, well, 2 million, that's 235,000 gallons, around 2 million for the tank. Yeah. So, and then the master meter, with some of the other figures and stuff, we're looking at about 2.5 million, which all of it together would be close to $6 million for both parts.
Just to answer your question, there's just parts of our system that need replaced
Yeah.
now or real soon.
Right.
In conjunction with this, so the money thing is gonna be, we have to prioritize our projects.
Right.
And figure out what needs to come first. Do we need the growth to pay for this
Right.
to get replaced? Maybe. Or can we replace this and get by for a little bit longer? That's something that we have to come together and talk about.
See, right now, the growth, all that growth down there has helped pay for this whole system. The water tank that's up here, the Martinville project paid for that, this new 350,000 gallon tank. That we had the 80,000 gallon tank that wouldn't have, ISO rating 80,000 gallons we'd still be a class 10 because of the fact of no water. And, the other Twin Groves paid for the tank down there that long. And then, of course, we're all paying on when we did the connection to community water. So, but right now, that extra growth down there is putting a lot of the bills. Because they pay more on their minimums than up in here in town because of those were figured when the loans were taken out, they had to pay enough to cover the loan expenses on each one of them. And both of them's a little bit different because one was more than the other one. And like I said, this is, that's just, covering just to keep us in water. Then we still gotta look at all the old pipe that's here in town. And we had to do a asset management plan for rural water for them to be able to do our rate study that's for next year. And we had to give them, how many miles of line we've got, the different sizes. And we also provided dates that they were installed from the best of my memory on most of it. And plans. We dug up some of it. I remember where, a lot of the older lines are here in town. And, of course, that's gonna be, they're gonna look at the ages. This one here, okay, our old system was put in 1969, so really a lot of it is already actually aged out of what they normally expect piping to last. But actually, our old stuff is held together pretty, most of our leaks up here are on the service lines.
Done it
So
now.
that's,
And the asset management plan is gonna help the water board and the council make a decision on prioritizing as well. It's gonna help, it's gonna be part of the package that you're gonna get to make these decisions.
That was just a,
but
that was just a question.
that's what we were hoping. We was hoping it would work with the master meter and be able to feed more water down there through this system. Because we wouldn't be pumping out of that system up here, but evidently something about hydraulics, it don't work that way. Yeah, because we need, we start growing here, we're gonna have to, and that's a lot of money to look for, trying to find enough grant money to cover, because, the amortization, the engineer gave me an amortization on like, if we got the tank, if we got about half of it grant and half of it loan, the loan on half of it would be over $8,000 a month payment.
How many year term was that?
30 or 40 years. Yeah. You're looking at a 5-point-something interest rate.
Yeah, the interest rates are still up there,
Yeah,
through
interest is still up
USDA and all of them, they're all still up above 5.
And the cost we get today, you add 3 to 5% every year that we have to wait to get the money in order to pay for it, so.
All the new developments, are they going to wanna hook onto our water, or how many of them are gonna try to drill into well water, do you think?
Not very many that
Zero.
want well water.
Yeah.
They all want municipal water.
They all
Okay.
want municipal
Cause
water.
the two concerns I saw was that, like making sure that, don't count all your eggs till you have them all, right?
Right.
And then secondly is, do we have the manpower? Cause we got 2 people running this many meters. So
We'll
we
have
gotta
to-
figure that cost in too, cause we're gonna have to bring another employee
We'll
on.
have to add more people.
Yeah.
And,
It'll
that's-
take at least 2 more people, full-time people.
Sure, yeah, even get it set up.
A minimum.
The electronic meters has saved a lot of time. It gave us, John being able to do some other stuff, and of course, all of us be able to do some other stuff. And it also gives us an idea where we've got problems. With those pressure sensing meters, we're seeing it kind of matches the problems. Cause we already have some low pressures at Cedar Hill on some customers down there. On those meters. So it gives us a real good projection of what we're looking at. And, you know, this is the scenario, the good scenario that just now, the way we are right now, that's good if it's just everything's kind of
Stays the same.
stable and average.
Yeah.
But if you have, like we've had the last couple of months of real high heat, there's been times that our pump system, well, our master meter is run for 44 hours out of 48 hours. So that tells you you're getting awful close to capacity. If something, we had a main break or something, then that would put us into the scenario. Of course, I mean, you've heard on the news, all these other cities have said, well, you're gonna have to conserve. Even Springdale, Arkansas, they've grown so much. This year, they had part of their system. They couldn't say they had low water pressure. They had to make a mandatory conservation. So, I mean, that's something that we're eventually getting to. And that might get us a little further down the road, but how many times you wanna do that? I mean, we've already had issues with other systems that's had major problems. But the main thing is start.
Well, that kind of opens everybody's eyes. You see what we're up against.
And hopefully it'll help you all make decisions on these applications for subdivisions that maybe we're gonna get. Cause we got quite a few developers already chomping at the bit.
They're ready to go if we can give them the answer, we can give them water. They're gonna get started. But like we've been telling them, we've got to find out if we can do these upgrades, what we've gotta do to get to that point, that we can supply them water. And right now, we can't. We can't do it. These scenarios tell us that.
Would you do both of these at the same time, the last scenario, was that?
That was just, we put that together to show that that's probably what it would take according to this model to get everything up to par for what the growth might be.
But the tank would suffice currently.
As the model shows, yes.
Yeah, push us on down the road a few more years.
Okay.
So it could be a step.
But that wouldn't be counterproductive for what you wanted to do later with the master meter. I mean, that would all still fit in the plan. It's just maybe phase one.
And that's why I did it in those steps, to see if it would work first, because at the time, the tank was the cheapest route anyway.
So, one other quick question. The loans that were taken out, Randy was talking about for the current system, are those?
Pam's got those available. We pulled up the numbers and how much we still owe and how many years we owe, so that she can give you a report on that. Go ahead, Pam.
Maybe.
Get to work. Well, I knew that was gonna be a question.
One of those loans is, we're paying around $1,800 to Twin Groves loan for that project. Martinville's is almost $2,000 for that phase. I'm on there.
Get somebody. Get you off. Get me on.
And anytime you guys want to look at these scenarios, Joe could get those to you and you could.
They have to download that program in order to.
Well, that's
go
true.
through, so
That's true.
we can figure out how to show you those, however you want to do it.
While she's looking that up, did the engineer talk about a time frame?
On what?
The first fix, phase one.
Well, we haven't got to that point,
Okay.
and that's where we're at right now, is that would be up to you on the information provided on if you guys think we need to go to step one, which would be going towards the tank issue, putting that in place, then we would have to get engineering done for them to tell us how much it's gonna cost. We have to do land stuff in order to figure out where it's gonna be, all that.
I said that 2 million is just a rough estimate. That's just an estimate.
Yeah, and that would include, I believe it has on that other paper I gave you, Randy.
Yeah, it's got other information, and it, you know, talking about, and that, includes, he included the land purchase in that cost. And the easement information, same thing on the master meter, that would include the easement cost. We do have some incidental stuff like valves, electronic SCADA system, for that to tie everything into what we've got now on our SCADA. Chlorine system, and then of course an actual generator on the trailer. So we have an actual new one on the trailer to use. So, with the health department, we
It all boils down to a catch-22. We've gotta grow in order to pay for things, but we can't grow without the water. So, I mean, it's a tough situation we're in. We're like most small community water systems, they're all facing the same scenario. We had a community water, conference the other day. We met with several engineers about a new project coming from Bruce Ferry Lake to Conway. They're facing the same scenario. They're out of water. They don't have enough. You know, it's that way everywhere. So, and people they're trying to move further away from the bigger cities. So Damascus is gonna grow whether we want it to or not.
Okay, we're
It's
here.
just gonna be
It's not here with this.
how we balance it.
Alright,
You
here's
ready?
the yeah, finally. Here's our current loans. We have 652,000 still outstanding. The original loan amounts in column C, and your interest rate's E, and how much we pay, whether it's yearly, 6 months, or monthly. And then the final payment, how much longer we still have to pay on them. So we all know 652,000 and making all those payments every month. 4.5 million is a lot of money. Yeah, it's gonna be way higher than what we've got.
Which one of those twin groves, 6?
And if you wanna look at that, you're thinking about that there, that's the cost of our whole system. Just those, you know, the Twin Groves,
Yeah.
that was $1 million and something dollars grant and loan. About, I think what did we finance on Twin Groves?
I know.
You don't have the old numbers. Martinville was, the construction cost itself was $900 and something thousand. That whole system went in for $900,000. And now, between 2005 and now, $6 million is the cost of things now versus what it was back in.
And we're also still relying on community to be able to provide that much water for all the extra infrastructure that we want to put in. And right now, as of their meeting 2 weeks ago, that'll probably be 2035 before that could be reality. It just depends on them.
We definitely need to share this information with community water. And be able, because right now our contract says 200 gallons a minute is our max that we can get from them. So this will be requiring more than that, so our contract would have to be negotiated. They've already Wooster put a new master meter in a couple of years ago. Guys finishing putting one in now. Greenbrier, I think, is looking at gonna have to have maybe another one. I know they're gonna have some tanks that they haven't built yet. And of course, what the scenario we have here is based on figures today. If they're developing more and more every day in Greenbrier. They keep using more and more water down there, our pressures are gonna drop more at our master meter, and we're gonna be getting less gallons per minute also. Which is gonna put us, that's another thing we need to talk to the community to make sure we.
And we discussed that in our community water meeting, with all that scenarios of the water being created in a 42-inch pipe going to Conway. That's gonna take a big load off of the water that's going now to Conway, off of our existing system. Which then our pressures will increase and we'll be able to give more, but they're looking at scenario 2035 before that will happen. mean, they're going as fast as they can, but it takes time to do all this stuff. This infrastructure stuff takes lots of planning, lots of foresight.
There needs to
Yeah.
start now in order.
Yes, and that's why
Put it on the state.
we're talking about this, trying to get it, I mean, we're already behind the 8 ball. We need to really be thinking hard and try to come up with a plan on how we're going to pursue. So, any more questions on this before we move on? Okay, we have a rate study, in 26, and, you know, there'll be a lot of information come out on that. I'm sure there will be rate increases. They are everywhere else across the state, so I'm sure we will have the same. We've already submitted all of our paperwork for that. It's requested, and we're on the list to be done in 2026. We don't have a time frame yet, but as soon as we know that, we'll let you guys know on that too, when our rate study is gonna happen. The price increases, our new rates for our 2026 billing will be in our November meeting. So you guys will need to be here for our November meeting too. We'll be voting on those for increases. The next water board meeting will be at 6 p.m. November 13th. And
that's a Thursday, not a Tuesday.
right, because the Tuesday was on a holiday, so we're gonna move that to the 13th, okay?
So, is water board just gonna kind of be in with our council
Yes.
meeting?
It'll just be a mixed meeting with our regular council meeting.
That's what I thought or something.
And on that, I wanna run something by you guys. I've talked to several of the different water, boards, and water companies around the state. And most of them have an independent water board separate from the town council. That come up with these, that work all these scenarios, bring back a recommendation to the town council for us to look at, consider, figure out funding and that kind of stuff. And I would like to see us do that, because the more we grow, the more we're gonna get wrapped up in water, where you guys also need to be involved in so many other things. So I would like to see us section this out, like Martinville, Randy, what all the different areas that we got?
Martinville, Republican, Twin Groves,
Batesville Mountain.
Batesville Mountain, that's kind of pretty well.
We got
The
Martinville
city, so.
and Twin Groves
Twin Groves
represented
already.
here already, but we need to come up with some new members for our water board and have them independent. They can meet independently from us and come back with some recommendations to us. If they had questions of us, they could attend the meeting and ask questions of us. I would like to see us move in that direction. I have talked to Jeff, and Jeff has agreed to serve as president of the water board if so deemed. So I think it would be prudent of us to go in that direction. What's your thoughts?
You had to make a motion.
I think if you can find the people to do it, we should do it.
Absolutely.
It's finding the people to volunteer that's gonna be the difficult part, I'm afraid. But I'm all for it if we get some people to volunteer.
We just need one from Republican, down that area, one from Batesville Mountain, over that area, and then one from here in town. So that'll give you a 5-person board, so.
Yeah.
And spread out, where everybody's got it.
Well, I will entertain a motion to pursue that.
Make that motion.
Motion made, I have a second. Second. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. We will start working on that. Okay? Any board concerns from, now's your time.
I appreciate the presentation, that really does help. Visual aids are always a plus.
Hopefully it wasn't confusing.
No, that's great.
No, very
It
funny.
was pretty confusing getting it put together.
Well, it looks good though.
Randy helped a lot, and we had a lot of outside help too.
It's very eye-opening.
Yeah.
So,
It was so transparent, I didn't have any questions.
That was my goal.
I was waiting for to answer a question, but you covered everything.
all right, any concerns from anyone else? Okay, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion made to adjourn, second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We will stand adjourned. We'll go into our town council meeting in 5 minutes. There's water over here in the basket if anybody needs water.
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Justin, would you lead us in prayer?
Yes, sir. Let's bow. Heavenly Father, we love you. We thank you for today. Thank you for all the blessings that you give us. Lord, I pray tonight as we start to conduct business, I pray that we do it in a manner that pleases you and that we keep our constituents in our mind as we make these decisions. I ask you to be with everybody and help us make decisions that glorify you. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
Amen. You may be seated. Okay, our guest, Miss Barbara, would you come give us a report, please?
Yeah.
If you would come right up here in the center between these two tables.
All right, well, I could have done a PowerPoint or an Excel sheet, but I all know me and I decided we'd just do some basic things. Pretty much everybody knows what we do. We are a 501c. We were formed in 2003, so we're sustainable. Most of the same people are still working in some capacity to take care of our community. We've got, Arkansas has some of the worst rates of child poverty and every kind of teen pregnancy, child poverty, child well-being, and one of the lowest literacy rates in the nation. And it is certainly shows up with the families that we work with. And, I've been doing this a long time, and we're into the second and third generations, but that doesn't matter. That they're human beings and they have the same value. We are faith-based, but we are not affiliated with a church. All kinds of people, all kinds of faiths help us. Our funding comes from, we have 5 little churches that give us $100 a month, and that is so rewarding. I mean, they're tiny little churches. And then we have just individuals that donate, and then our thrift store, which the city has provided. We make enough at the thrift store 1 day a week to buy our food, because we have food donated also. But the last quarter, we have served 48 families a month, and they can only come, and 134 people are represented, and that's pretty much what we do, and they get a great box. We don't want anybody to feel like that if you're doing it on faith, you need to do it right. You just don't need to be stingy. You need people to walk away. And Jackie helps us a lot, and she can tell you our guideline is you don't pass another food pantry coming, because we have no federal funding, no state funding. We're totally funded out of this community, funds us to serve that many families. We also serve the foster and DHS, and I'm going to leave some brochures here. When DHS gets a new family in, or they get into a crisis situation and they need food or whatever, we do that. We take care of any fosters that come in that need anything from a bed to a refrigerator, And then we also, next to our food pantry, which is behind the water department, which our water department people take care of. John takes care of us. Everybody in the city makes it happen for us. Without the city, we could not do it. And we have so many volunteers. Everybody just has a joy to do it. But next to the food pantry, we have a clothing closet, and everything in there is free. It's clean, it's sized, it's hanging by little or big or size. It's all in there, from shoes. We do lots of blankets and sheets and pillows and
Heaters,
just the basic household stuff. We also do emergency anything when somebody has a burnout or whatever. We have where we can just, the Methodist Church, they do tornado tubs, and in that is anything you need for a burnout or a wind, whatever. We call them tornado tubs. But when DHS calls, we can just reach and get one of those tubs, and it has everything in it they're going to need. Cleaning supply, everything they're going to need in that tub. So that's pretty much all of our income. We're on QuickBooks. everything spent has a piece of paper to go with it, clipped to it. We spend about $2,000 a month on groceries for this 48 families. But we can do that because we get Walmart every other week. We get their produce and things like that. So our people get fresh stuff that we couldn't afford to buy. And we have 3 local families that bring us eggs, so our clients get fresh chicken eggs. So their box contains meat, bread, milk, eggs, all the canned goods, and all the produce that we can come up with, including, we also do hygiene products and diapers, adult and baby diapers. We have all of that, and some serious things like coffee, which has gone up so much but our people appreciate that. I would say a good third to half of our clients are older people, and that they're living on Social Security that doesn't allow for the things that have happened, so they're older. And I'll leave brochures. We've got brochures. Everybody gets something in their first time or two they come. Now, anybody that comes, even if they're out of our area or if they're above our income guideline, because you have to fill out a form and we have a card on everybody, is 150% of the federal poverty guideline. And when we show them what they just laugh, none of them get near that. But no matter what, the first time they come, even if they're not eligible, they get food. And we try to be more than providers. We try to be friends to the people that come, and we've made lots of friends, and the city makes it happen. That we could not do it without the city.
Well, you guys do a great job.
It's a lot of fun, and it brings in a lot of workers, a lot of helpers, a lot of volunteers that are, willing to do this. And so thank you.
Well,
Thank John. He's
you
my
guys
boy.
are very much appreciated. Thank you, guys. That is a great service to our community. I've heard
There's
a lot.
nobody in this community that should go hungry.
That's right. Great service. Thank you guys again. All right, we're gonna move right on. Fire department.
So we'll start off with activity report.
Oh, let me go back first. I skipped reading of our minutes.
I just had a question on that though. Is the number 3 correct on our guess? I mean, you didn't put Casey on there, and, was
We
Wayne
had
in
about
here?
45 guests last meeting.
What are you asking?
I know she was
I don't
wanting
know
to
that.
come, but I didn't know if she
She
ever
was here,
came.
yes, Miss Wilma was
Miss
here.
Rainey?
She was
She was
here?
here.
She was
Okay.
here, yes.
The only one you're missing up there is
Casey.
Casey was.
Casey was here.
Right.
Casey came later.
Yeah.
He wasn't one of the arrangers. We got introduced.
Oh, okay,
He was late, yes.
okay, alright.
We'll make a note of that and add him into that, if you would.
Okay.
Then that's,
Okay? They have a motion to approve minutes.
I'll make that motion.
Motion made and second to approve the August council meeting minutes. All in favor? Motion carried. Okay. I apologize for not having our guests stand up and introduce themselves to start with. Would you guys stand and introduce yourself? Barbara, you already have, so I won't call on you, but the rest of you guys, come on. Don't be bashful.
Hello, I'm Terry Smith. I'm your new branch manager at the library next door.
Glad to have you here. Thank
Glad to
you.
be here. Take note of our new hours. We've changed
Yes,
up a little
and we're
bit.
gonna announce them here in just a little bit.
Good deal. Good
All right.
deal.
You're not a guest much anymore, but you still got
I'm
it.
here every month, so we'll just do it. I'm Heather Edwards. Just a citizen.
Thank you, Heather. All right. Okay, we're gonna move on. Daniel.
All right, we'll go over activity report first. Last month, 38 calls, and 21 in Faulkner County, 17 in Van Buren County. We also hosted 2 meetings. We completed 24 hours of training over 4 nights and wrote 10 burn permits that I know of. That's what we did. We had a really busy month last month. Right now, we're averaging over a call a day. It's like 1.03, but still, that's the busiest we've been since I've been here. Going to rescue one repairs, we did finally get a chance to take it up to Future today. They looked at it real quick and told us they wasn't interested in working on it just because of the type of truck it is. It's a Ford 6.0. Not a lot of people work on them. Did some quick searches this afternoon. We got about $7,000+ worth of repairs we need to put into a truck that's at best worth $12,000. My recommendation would be that we look at putting that in our auction that's coming up, see what we can get for it, pull all our stuff off of it, start looking for a new truck. I just don't see us sinking that kind of money into a 2006 model truck.
Yeah, when's the auction?
When is the
It's
auction?
supposed to be in September, don't have a date yet.
So we'll just need an ordinance taking it off the inventory before then?
So what now?
We'll just need an ordinance removing it from inventory before then?
We just do sell property, so. We just have to approve the sale of it.
Yeah, that's all we have to do.
We don't have to ordinance for it.
Alright, on the intro and PPE class, we did complete them. Like I said, that was 4 nights of class. We all had some late nights, but we got that done. And then in your packet for your review, I've got a paid for call policy that I wrote up. We put a lot of time and effort into this thing, thousands of hours a year of volunteer service. I don't want to read word for word, but y'all got a copy of it there if y'all want to review that and think on it. That's all I've got. That's what we get up to.
Okay, I would entertain a motion to approve sale of the truck, at the scheduled September auction. I don't have a date, from our auctioneer yet. It's a statewide auction. They came up and took pictures of a lot of different stuff we have around town that's just sitting and dilapidated or whatever that they're gonna try to move for us, so. But that's where we're trying to liquidate some of our old unused equipment, so.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion made and second to approve sale of the truck. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Then Daniel, you'll get the rest of the stuff out
Oh,
of
yeah,
it.
I'll proceed pulling all the stickers and bar lights, tank and all that off of it.
I'll get all of the auctioneer, have them come get some pictures of it and get it on the list.
It's hoping for a different outcome, but it's just,
Yeah.
it ain't looking good for us. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Daniel. I'd really like for you guys to really look over this, for pay call. This is something that is really needed and might spur some interest in getting some new members on the fire department. I mean, we're down to what, 7?
Roster wise, we've got like 11, but dependable, I mean, we're 6, 7 guys that show up pretty regularly.
Yeah. And you guys do a tremendous job, but I know it's a lots and lots of work, for a certain few. So, I would really like for us to entertain this. I think we need to give you time to look it over and, so I won't entertain a motion for that tonight, but, our next meeting, I would like to consider this.
Can I ask how many people came for that 24 hours of training? I kind of want to figure out a ballpark figure financially each month, what we're looking at. So before I want
Members that we would pay for 24-hour training,
okay.
one new member, and then I hosted.
Well, then, yeah.
Like last month, it said 24 hours of training, so that would just been one member.
I taught it, and we had one member, so it's two members.
Graysville brought people.
Graysville,
Yeah.
so we wouldn't pay for Graysville.
We wouldn't.
And to give you an idea of our call volume, I mean, we're 251 calls for the year, I believe.
Yeah.
You probably average two people at least per call. Structure fires, we tend to have several more.
Sure.
We don't have probably, I think we're or 6 or 7 structure fires for the year, so.
Typically, yeah, our medicals are not gonna be
The
too.
majority of our
too-
calls are going to medical calls with a couple people going to.
And there again, that's where we're really struggling. If Brandon's not here or Jackie's not available, then it's basically Pam that has to respond. And that takes her away from her job here at the office too. So,
I'm available every afternoon, but 5 in the morning, 5 in the afternoon, I'm kind of out of pocket with what I do for a living.
Yeah.
I don't waste one between the other hours of 5 and the other times.
yeah. All right, well, you guys, look that over and consider it and run the numbers, and we'll visit about that again next meeting. Any other questions for Daniel? Okay. Court. Come on, Bo.
Good evening, everybody. It's not very often that I get to say that we had court just yesterday anymore, because everything's been such an irregular schedule, but we did. It went really well. It was a busy parking lot. I don't know if anybody happened to be passing through here around 2:30 or 3 yesterday, but I pulled in and I was like, uh-oh, it's gonna be a long marathon night. But it was great. It actually went very efficiently. Judge Carnahan got here and, came from Greenbrier. We disposed of the docket pretty easily. And, I was just asking Will about, we only have the one more court date this year, which is in November and 17th. And, kind of the whole bi-monthly court thing, I kind of like it, not because I minded ever coming up here once a month or once every 8 weeks or 6 weeks or whatever he was kind of scheduling on. But, it's kind of good to have a busy docket, and it's kind of good to, in my opinion, have more of a full house, because we get a lot of stuff done, in very short order. And so we were out of here by 4:30 yesterday, I think, even with all the folks that got here. So, and we had some attorneys involved, and so that helps. Frankly, that's been happening a little bit more often, and that's a good thing. You guys may be aware, and Will can fill in on this if he needs to, but within the last couple of weeks, Judge Carnahan kind of had a change of policy on civil penalty tickets, where he wants those people to show up and make an appearance. Now, most of the time that really doesn't affect us, because a lot of those people that are getting the school bus tickets or some speeding that, Will says, let's write the unsafe one. They show to court. They're ready to, because he tells them it's mandatory, and they do get here. Actually, I think that some of this helps because we're not seeing as many FTAs, in my opinion, and that's a good thing. So I think a little bit of that policy change there, that was not something that was triggered by anything that happened up here. But he is, of course, mindful of the old ways of things, and he doesn't want us to have that risk anymore. And so we've had some, we've been able to amend a lot of these, obviously, like we've done, but we're obviously keeping between the rails, and Will's done a great job of, communicating with me, obviously, but the state trooper support here has been good. Those troopers have been very willing and available and everything, so that's been great too. Otherwise, nothing really to report on the court side of things. I know y'all probably want to hear from me on some other things tonight, but I'll leave it at that. Unless y'all have any questions, I'll move on to the next.
Any questions? Okay. Will, Police Department.
It's been a pretty busy month. Like Bo was saying, had a good court day yesterday. I done 17 extra patrols throughout the city that was requested up here. They call Miss Pam or Miss Kathy. I make sure everybody's houses, property areas that need to be checked were checked through. I've done 10 motorist assist. I went on 1 medical call. I had 3 animal complaints. I assisted 5 different calls for different agencies to assist them until they could get there, and I had 1 welfare check. I got to go today to Clinton to do the lockdown and be a part of that, because obviously nobody ever wants that to happen. But if it does, then everybody in the county is going to run to the school. So I got to go up there today, and I got to be a part of that. Everything done good. We done good on our time. I was asked to come back whenever they do it. It's October. However, vehicle's running good. Equipment's all doing good. I don't have anything else.
Have they scheduled the south side test yet?
Not that I've been told yet.
Not yet.
Any questions for Will?
Mention your vehicle, how many miles are on that thing now?
50,000.
So we probably need to look at, in the near future, is probably getting another one.
We'll, at the end of the year, we'll have a mileage report on what we're putting on a year, so we can kind of plan that out.
We've also got the vehicle
Yes.
maintenance logs that I've been keeping up with, tires rotated, the oil change, anything to go on with that vehicle. It's got the VIN, the mileage, when it happened, what was bought. I think it's the pricing on it. Also, Miss Pam also gets the receipts for that as well. But everything is even where it's done at.
I don't like the idea of us only having one,
I agree.
so to look at purchasing a new one. I don't wanna have it sitting around rotten, but
Right.
we need to have something in reserve.
Okay, any other questions? All right.
Thank you.
Okay, street report. Randy?
Of course, one of the things we get to is Lewis Street, which is on there. We tried the road closed signs, barricades. Of course, we left one side on the 285 end open for traffic to come out from that street. And, Will spent most of that day sitting there
Yes.
stopping everybody that come through there because they still around the barricade and went going down the street. So, you know,
Also, that was, not to interrupt, but also that was the particular day that the new owners come in
Right.
and was cleaning out everything, and they had multiple workers that was coming in, and we had people crossing the roads and just walking, and even though the barricades was up there, we had people come through and come into a nosedive, you know, just because they wasn't seeing the sign. And I mean, that just goes to prove on what I had done on the statistics as far as that, and borrowing the speed machine from Clinton, on why y'all should agree to do what we've done. So that was a busy time.
Yeah, that was a crazy day.
It was a very crazy day.
I want to make sure that we note that we are not dragging our feet on this. We are waiting for ADOT engineer to get back with us. We have requested them. They've got to come up and meet with us and tell us what we have to do legally and all to get it all fixed before we close that off. And then, once they do that, I'll be bringing it back to you guys, and then we will have to vote on closing it or what we're gonna do.
I thought we already decided to close it.
Well, we've talked about it, but we haven't made a motion to close it, because we're waiting on ADOT to give us the information we need to make sure that it's all gonna work out.
When did we put up the sign?
It was the next day.
Yeah, it was the next day.
After our
And I
meeting.
called
When was it? How long ago was it?
2 weeks ago?
Last month.
No. The radar. sign.
Oh, that was
Oh, that's
Yeah, it's been.
So how long have we been doing, how long have we been dealing with this?
too long.
Yeah, we've done nothing. So
Yeah, but I mean, we gotta make sure we got all of our I's dotted and T's crossed,
it's a city street. Why can't we just go pile some dirt on the thing and put up a sign?
but we can't do that.
It's a city street.
We cannot do that. It's a legal egress off of Highway 65.
on the end, the other end is state, that part of it is state owned there, the actual ingress and egress at that
We
end.
gotta do it by the book and do it right.
But they've already said we could close it.
No,
They haven't said we can, they said that the possibility that we can. That's why we're waiting on engineers to come and give us their opinion and do things the proper way. Yeah, we could take a backhoe down there and we could dig it up, but we'd be in a world of trouble. And we don't wanna do that. Okay, Randy, go ahead.
All right, we've went ahead and started working on some of the stuff that we've got to get done before they come in to do the street asphalting. We got that 1 meter changed out on Frost Street. That was one of our older meters, and the box itself was not shutting off like it should. So we got all that changed out, and that street, we're just gonna probably end up getting a plate packer to pack it some more to make sure it's settled good. I called the state to ask on the grant. It's already bid. They've got until November before the contractor's got to have it done. So we've got probably maybe a month or so for it to get kind of firmed back up. And we're looking at 2 other culverts to change, one over on Camp Hill. And we're gonna try to do something different there at Frost and Oak Tree, because that always floods right there and runs over the road into the preacher's yard. And we're probably gonna put a new, different culvert in on Frost Street, back it up. Also, because the garbage truck, when they try to back in there, they're backing over the end of the culverts. And when they do the new pavement, they'll probably, if we've got a culvert moved back, and they can do a little bit better, they can do a wider wing where they can back in and out more. And try to clean out on the, be the west side of the road where that one culvert under the road can drain better. And we'll be looking at condition that culvert, and we may end up having to do both of them. Of course, that'll be tearing up the newer asphalt, but they're gonna be right there fixing that street. They can pave over that too while they're there. And we trimmed a bunch of the tree limbs, low hanging limbs on some of the streets that they're gonna be doing asphalt, because with the dump truck trying to feed asphalt out of it, they'd be hanging their beds up and knocking that debris down on the new old street and be underneath their asphalt. So we try to get some of those trimmed up. That's pretty well what we have on the street.
Okay, any questions on street?
On Carroll Circle, there's some tree and limbs hanging over that I'm just having to swerve all over the
One
side.
on the corner.
It's on that very back. Will can show you.
It's right there where you put the culvert in.
We'll get those.
Yeah.
I forgot
I mean, I thought if
those.
I hit it enough with my bus, it'd knock them down.
I'm gonna do that, you break a rearview mirror. We'll, in the next couple of days, I don't think our contractor got our road bore done for us to put the meter in.
Sure.
So tomorrow we can probably do that tomorrow, unless something else unforeseeable happens.
Okay, go ahead into water then, if that's all.
All right, going into the water, of course, we had the water board meeting earlier. Our usage is still up, which is, I guess, is good. We've got good income coming in from it. Our water loss is still running real good, might as well say 12%. That's really good. And our bank account's looking better. When our work order summary, it's in your reports, there where it is, and of course the bank statements and everything are included in the packet that you got. Trying to think anything else. Like you mentioned, we had the meeting at Greenbrier with it's actually, considered Conway and Community Water kind of going together to do that project, that supply, because community's got to have more water. Even after they're fixing, they're working on their plant expansion, which won't be done for another about almost 3 years. And that's the last expansion they can do over there at the plant. So this is the next improvement that will help the whole, and it helps everybody because the cost share between Conway and them, and the plant will be at Conway. And when that plant is finished, it's going to help community by supplying, Mayflower, Valonia, Beaver Ford, possibly back up to Greenbrier, sorry. which will take that load, that water usage off the plant at Pierce Ferry, which means then we've got starting all over with a whole nother higher volume of water left, which may help our pressures at the master meter at that time. But that's 2035. So, and they gave a figure of 419 or 91 million? 491 million for the line and stuff for that. So that's a lot of money. But anyway.
Any other questions on water?
I just want to give them a shout out. If I'm looking at the losses correctly, it's the lowest it's been in the last 12 months.
Yes.
Yeah.
When did we get these meters?
Part of it,
April, May?
probably, yeah, part of it is the meters.
But it's also y'all are going out and finding the leaks and fixing them, so.
Yeah, it's
Hats
a
off to
little
the
bit of
both of you
both.
guys that go out and hammer that out.
Yeah.
That's saving
A lot
lives.
of times we may not find them. Somebody may find them if it pops up in a road or something, we'll find it. A lot of the leaks we've had has been small, so those are harder to find.
Look at that.
Well, these new meters actually allow them more time to do stuff like that. Because we can
A lot of
pull
times, you know,
reports up on those meters every morning.
Yeah, we pull up reports on those meters. We also do a downflow on our tanks at night. If the tank is full, we figure how much comes out of the tank from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock, depending on whatever hours. And that gives us a drawdown number. And, you know, right now, you know, the north end is usually had been as low as 11 gallons a minute. That's the lowest it's been. Right now, we're running about 20. South end, the lowest I've ever seen it was about in 20s, 21, 22. Right now, it's running about 40. But we can look at our meters too later in the afternoon, and we can see, okay, there's a bunch of them's been running sprinklers during the night, or they've had a leak all night. So we can kind of start looking at now how much is that is customer usage. Of course, we can only tell about half of our customers. When we do finally maybe get the rest of our meters, and there's some more money coming out the first of the year again. So we're gonna try to apply to get as much as possible to get the rest of our meters changed. Because that'll help us a lot. And it'll give us an idea of actually then what we're losing.
Okay, any other questions for Randy? Okay, thank you, Randy. Okay, CD renewals in October, Pam?
Yeah, our ones that we have with the street, the water meter fund, there's 3 of them. Anyway, they all renew in October. Do you want to leave that money there, roll it over and let it go again? Do you want to shop for someplace else except that First Service Bank? And from their advertisements, they still have the best rate as far as the advertisements that I've seen, so.
Do you know what the rate is?
No, we will not know till our time of renewal. The one that's posted out front right now is 4.87, I think, is what it says, so. I was just up there today, and that's what was posted on. They have a little, board out front that they keep, so.
That's probably about as high as
How's
you
it
can
gonna
find.
be?
That's
How long
probably-
before?
It'll be a year. Yeah,
Year
it'll
long
be another year.
CDs.
Yeah. It's I think they call it a 365, or anyway, yeah.
If it's that rate, I would say roll it
Just roll it
over.
over.
And myself, that's what I would think. I don't figure you'll find it any higher.
I don't think I'll find a
Yeah.
better rate, yeah. The one that came closest was that bank OZK, but, they were 4.5%, so.
I mean, they've dealt with us pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need a motion for
Yeah,
that.
I'll need a motion to roll those over.
I make a motion to roll them over.
I'll second it.
Motion made and second to roll over the CDs, all 3 of them. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Christmas parade chair, theme, and the grand marshal. We have any ideas? Remember, I asked you guys last meeting to be thinking about this, so.
Well, I've got some ideas.
Okay, blame us.
I don't know, and where this kind of came from is when y'all were talking about the 4th of July and talking about the big 250 celebration, I started thinking more Damascus. And we can't have a celebration because we missed it. Our 150 was last year. Because it was settled in 1874 by the Huttos, William Hutto, and I'm kind of a little upset about this because they said it was settled by William Hutto and his son-in-law. Where'd the daughter go? She had to be there. But anyhow, I know, it's these males, but anyhow.
She was the boss.
Yeah, that's where we need to go. But anyhow, so then it was settled in 1874, and then it was finally named Damascus in 87, and then incorporated in 66. So we've got all these weird 151, 138, 59, nothing works good. But anyhow, that led me to the Christmas parade, and so then I started looking and asking Chat GPT, and it came up with like a Pioneer Christmas honoring the spirit of 1874, Christmas on the Frontier, a tribute to our first settlers, settling in for the holidays, 1874 and beyond, from wagon trails to twinkle lights, a settler's Christmas, pioneers of Christmas past, and 1874 Christmas, lighting the way for generations, or wagons, wood fires, and winter cheer.
Lots of good ideas.
Wow.
Yeah, that's good.
I love ChatGPT.
So, I mean, so that was just kind of my theme, kind of thinking.
What was the last one? Wagons, wood fire?
Wagon, wood fires, and winter cheer.
I like that.
I do too.
I like that one, and I like the one about the pioneer.
A Pioneer
That's the
Christmas
first one.
honoring the spirit of 1874.
I really like that one too.
So, but y'all can think, I mean.
Hey, you guys can speak up out there too. You're welcome to speak.
If you speak up, you get nominated as the chair.
There you go, Heather.
Don't listen to her.
She's not allowed.
She's already putting me up.
Thank you for volunteering.
I have. I've already been hitting up the library for the 4th of July.
We have any volunteers to chair the Christmas parade? No
We have to
volunteers.
find somebody.
Okay.
I'll work on them at the station tomorrow.
Okay. Well, I think you've got some good ideas for a theme. So,
Well, you think we ought to have like the Hutto clan be the grand marshal?
that's what I was gonna
Since it
suggest.
was the,
Especially if we do with the pioneer one. I mean, they're a pioneer family for our community, so. I think it'd be fantastic. What do you think, Barb?
Well, we're still here. A bunch of us.
that's right.
They stay, the Huttos stay.
Well, would you agree for your family to serve as grand marshals? Not just you, but your family.
Mick, I come up with a float, and that is a big job.
Yes, it is.
And we do, one thing I didn't mention, we do senior sacks for all the seniors. You don't have to qualify. Every senior anywhere in this community is gonna get a Christmas basket from us that with just fun stuff. And I come up with a float, and that is a big job. Christmas and we do, one thing I didn't mention either one of those. But we do it. I'll help, I'll be on a committee.
Great.
She's a pioneer, the Huttos are a pioneer.
That's it.
Who's the pioneer of the food pantry?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
I think it's perfect.
She's trying to politely decline.
Hey, there's a lot of Huttos. We can,
Yeah.
we'll stick somebody on a float. Let them be the grand marshal.
Would do you wanna get a committee together? Barbara's decided she would,
We'll work on it.
okay. Then we'll have, Jackie and Barbara, put a committee together
Okay.
and report back to us the next meeting. Okay? All right. Then let's move on. July the 4th, 2026 budget. Heather, our chair.
You speak. I'm also, whoever texted me the other day and said, did you forget something? Is that you? I am gonna fund the water project. We'll just go with that. I get texts, did you leave your water running again? Often, so these systems are working.
Thanks for supporting the water.
If it was only tax deductible. Okay, so I've talked to a fireworks distributor to talk about just how, like, a grand finale is what we had discussed. How much more would we need? And I don't think we need that much more. So I don't think we need necessarily to change a lot with the budget and what we've had in the past. I think depending on, I've heard the number $5,000. Is that what we've used, or has that been like, that was half us, half?
Our budget has been $75,000, and we've been really close to that every year.
And that's
We
for
haven't gone over.
everything? So
That
that's
buys the
fireworks,
food,
the
the
food, the
fireworks
whole
now.
thing.
We always have a matching donation, and Clint has offered this year to be the sole provider if we wanted to go with Clint.
Okay,
Usually about $1,000 for him, and $1,000 for the guy at Greenbrier.
okay.
But Clint said he would rather do it all for the community this year, so he'd be willing to do a couple $1,000 and matches $2,000. So typically, we shoot about $4,000 with fireworks.
Okay, so I don't think we're the guy I talked to, I said, so for a grand finale, do we need to budget significantly more than that? And he said no. So I don't think we need to look at like huge differences. I think we should maybe do a little more just to give us some wiggle room if it does come back, because we do want to do it bigger to make the changes. But like numbers wise, I was told that $4,000 to $5,000 show on a fireworks show is very sufficient. The guy I talked to actually does one in Pea Ridge every year, and they're like a 10,000 member community, and he does a $5,000 show. So we're doing real good for our little 300 person town.
Well, we put on a pretty good show.
We do a very good show.
How much of the 5,000 is food?
Oh,
said
we
about
probably spent
$4,000
$1,500 last year. I would love to make a recommendation, we don't do hamburgers this year, let's just do hot dogs, scale that way back.
Well, I've also talked to Amigo Loco, so I talked to Sergio, and he said, let me know what we can do. So I was thinking maybe if we could get some like different food trucks or different people that might be part of the community in general to give, then we might not be giving as much. That if we did cut down to just hot dogs and not hamburgers, it would be fine, because we could have other areas pitch in some, and that's what he had said. He had said, just let me know what we can do to help. So if we can get other people involved,
Better.
I think it would be
Yeah.
good for the community and good to get more people out, and also we'd have more variety in what we were able to give. So
Have you got some help?
not yet, but I think I'm hoping maybe next month I can like do an alert and say if you want to help or have a part or have any recommendations, like could we have a meeting? And I don't know if we could do that here, to just have people come to brainstorm and try to get a plan together. That would be something to come up with next.
Great.
So do you think like $8,000 or $10,000, or what do you think?
I mean,
You know,
I'd say like 8-ish would probably be sufficient.
My only
but-
concern is, you know, y'all talked about this being such a big deal. There's going to be so many big deals everywhere. I mean, Heber's gonna do huge, Allwood's
Well, I
gonna do huge.
also would
Greenwood's
like to
gonna do huge.
recommend that we do it on Thursday. Talking with everybody after the meeting, so it is gonna be a huge deal everywhere, but most everybody is gonna be off on Friday, cause that's gonna be the actual holiday that's celebrated. So if we did it on Thursday night, we could catch people on their way to the lake. I assume those events are actually gonna be on Saturday at the lake, because Saturday is the 4th, and I don't know why that we do it on a random weeknight.
So you're
The
talking
4th
about
is
the
a
second.
Saturday, so yeah, if we did it earlier, we would get a pre-show and hopefully catch people before they leave. And
I think Worcester's already sent theirs, and it's like a whole week before the 4th or something like that. They had it.
I agree, doing it before the 4th, so definitely be a better idea.
yeah, so I think.
Yeah, the
I think
Saturday
doing
before,
it-
we will not have,
No, nobody will show up.
we won't have anybody there.
No.
And I mean, we're talking, like she said, Pea Ridge, I mean, we're talking a population of 300 and spending 10,000 when P Ridge has 10,000 and spends.
Oh, but they're not doing the event. That's just my friend who does the fireworks company, and so he does the fireworks show. So that's not for a whole event. That's literally just a $5,000 show that he does. So I don't know, and we might end up needing less if we get people like Sergio involved who, and they want to donate part of it, and he doesn't end up costing as much as what, so I think the more we get, just having a little bit extra planned, knowing we want to do more would be helpful, with the hope that we get more of that donated and more people involved, and we don't actually have to spend it all just, anyway. So no, I'm not thinking 10, I don't think we need to double the budget, but maybe even just 6 or 7 would be a little bit helpful to get a little bit of a cushion, because I do think what we've done in the past will be sufficient to get us just a bonus.
Do I have a motion on a number?
See, just because we budget for it, don't mean they have to spend it, right?
That's correct.
So I'd rather budget for enough that they don't have to come back and say, hey, we need more, and so I'm thinking like 7,500. Thinking budget 7,500 and hopefully they keep it to 6, But if something comes up that.
Donations and stuff, back, that document, that actual night, where did we bring on donation?
Oh, about $800.
And that was a silent auction and everything, so. So yeah,
We don't do a lot.
we don't even get back.
Yeah.
We usually pick up $1,500 worth of donations, maybe 2,000.
Right, we have businesses that donate, and so that have typically every year donated something.
Last year's the lowest we've got, of course. Everything costs more.
What did we actually end up bottom line on last year's,
It was right at the 5.
Right at 5?
Yeah.
Okay.
The actual money we spent was a little bit more than that, but the donations offset, but as far as like our money spent was right at the 5 figures.
That was at a fire department fund or general fund?
That was paid for out of fire department fund, but general transferred over into fire department to help cover it.
I'd like to, like any donations we get would like go to something specific like the fire department, but pay out of the general fund. If we're looking at a $5,000 show and then $2,000 in food, 7,500, 8,000, probably be good.
Is that a motion?
I don't think I should be the one making the motion.
I'll make a motion for a budget of 7,500. Hopefully we can keep it under it.
Okay. Motion made, 7,500. Now your second.
I'm second.
Motion
I'd like to
made.
say, I want this to be more than a fireworks show. So in my mind, this is like a community event. So
It
like,
is.
I want to have hours of an evening where our community gets to come together. And but I was talking to her about having the library out there to do a craft and let kids sign up for Imagination Library while they're there and get them involved in what the library is doing. And then have like we had fire trucks set out last year for everybody to look at, but nobody knew they were there. So like set those out and let kids climb on them. So when we're looking at the $7,500 budget, it's not for a fireworks show in my mind. It's for like
The event.
community event that's gonna give us opportunity to get more people involved and grow. So anyway.
And show off your community.
And help us.
In the grand scheme of things, how many other events do we do a year?
We really don't,
So, I mean, like,
Christmas parade,
this is kind of a big
same
hoorah.
thing.
Yeah.
And I was thinking something here today. At the fair, they had the electric company had their trailer there where they did the arcs, teaching kids not to mess with power lines and stuff like that, whether we could get those to come out and they can actually cook some of the hot dogs.
Well, they do a volunteer deal where they do that, and they can get a certain amount of time off. I can talk to somebody on that, that does it, and also works there as well, if y'all wish.
No, I think the more ideas we have, the better, but that's, so to Jackie's point, like, it is a lot of money for a small town, but like, in my mind, it's not a fireworks show. We're like, I would love for it to truly be, if we're gonna do it, let's make it an actual event that people look forward to and want to participate with and get kids involved and get people involved. And I don't know how that works, but that's why I said I need to start planning it now, because I don't see that it's just gonna be money going to fireworks. So.
Now, you know, other cities provide a lot of stuff to get people to move into their city. You know, Greenbrier, the splash pad. Conway spends a lot of money on a lot of activities for families and stuff. You know,
Those are cheaper than the traffic lights.
Okay, we have a motion and a second on the floor, to approve $75,000.
No.
7,500, excuse me? I look down here.
take a zero off.
Yeah, minus a zero, okay?
Well, you got Heather excited at least. She's tickled here now.
7,500.
Yeah, have the fair.
I'll call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay. All right, the next item is building permit approval for Enoch Tooley. Have a motion to approve that. He's building a shop in his, at his home there.
I'll make a motion. We approve it?
I'll second that.
Motion made and second to approve Enoch's, building permit. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Library, new hours. Would you go ahead and?
Okay. I brought y'all the copy of the newsletter with our hours on it. The new hours are Monday, 10:30 to 6, and Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is 10 to 5:30. Kind of trying to draw the seniors in early and for the kids after school. That's what I'm working on. I've printed out 9 letters for all the churches that I found in the area to let them know that our hours have changed and that we're open and under new management, so to speak. And I'm excited about, thank you, need that for the board meeting coming up. I'm excited about all the little notes I'm taking. So far I'm like, okay, I got July 4th, I gotta do something for Christmas, I gotta do this. But Friends of the Library is big in supporting our libraries, and so I can't wait to go tell them about the exciting things that are happening down here. And I really look forward to serving the community of Damascus. I live in B Branch, of course, but I wanna know everything about Damascus. I wanna know when you're doing this, what's that, what's the calendar, so I can promote it. And, you know, put it out there on our web pages and stuff like that, and our Facebook pages. So, and kind of draw the community in and let them know that, hey, our library's small, but guess what? It's a doorway to 8 other libraries that you can have access to for anything you can think of. So, or we'll find it in another state if we have to. It's called an ILL. So, interlibrary loan. So, do y'all want me? What do you guys would like to see from me? Do you want a monthly report about attendance or people counts or anything like that?
I think it'd be adequate if we just had a quarterly.
Oh,
report,
okay.
Just so we know it's being utilized.
Okay.
So we maybe run some numbers so we can kind of get.
I can do it. I can do that. So, thank y'all so much for letting me come.
Thank you.
I do have a
Appreciate it.
question. Can we, I don't
Yes.
know, you know, like I'm looking here at your crafts and your story time, but, so is there anything like for like our school kids? Like, could we do any crafts or anything
Well,
like
this
that
is
after school or?
This is my second week.
Okay.
So I'm still learning my patrons, and I've had a few kids come in from the school age to pick up their summer reading program process, so that is on my mind.
Okay, well, that's what I was wondering, because I know the crafts, but it would just be like 3 and under would be.
Yes,
during
that's
the 11
mainly,
o'clock in
that's
the day.
mainly for the pre-K kids. And usually if I can get them in and they have school kids, we can throw them in. The main draw for our school kids is usually the summer reading program. But we do want to encourage kids to come to our library and everything. We just rearranged the junior nonfiction and the junior fiction section, which is for the school age kids. And so we tidied up and made things a little bit more accessible for them. So I did have a young man come in today with his mother, and he put some books on hold and he checked out some books. So it's just a matter of making contacts and seeing what the community needs and that kind of thing. And also, I did go to the open house at Southside, so they know I'm down here. So.
Good.
I was gonna say, you might get in with the, specifically more so with elementary, but they have an app called Parent Square. They send a message out in bulk.
Okay.
And if you can save this as like a PDF or something and send it to them, maybe they can shoot it out to all the parents and say, hey, this is Damascus Library has these events going on.
Okay, that's at Southside?
That's at Southside.
Okay, who would I ask?
You might contact Jamie Riddle. He's the principal, and he'd be able to lead you in the right direction.
Springburn does the same thing for their school district, and Twin Groves kids would probably come to our library as well, so we wanted to share with that direction.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then I already hit you up about.
I just don't want to compete with Twin Groves and Guy.
True, but
You know,
just to let them know.
and I know Guy has some after school stuff, but I'm aiming at Southside. So we'll just see how it goes.
Well, thank you very much. We appreciate it and welcome.
Thank you.
One other thing for both of you, Barbara, also with the required community service by these students, is there ways that you guys could incorporate getting some students to do some community service at your individual places? Help out on that end too? Okay, that would be great. 'Cause I get calls all the time about that. We have a hard time getting kids to show up, but we have the request. So I'm just reaching out for more possibilities for them to serve, because I think it started 2 years ago, and now they have to have so many hours before they can graduate. So these kids are, I don't remember how many hours it is, 75 hours. That's quite a bit for kids. You know, they have to start like in 9th grade, but, you know, it builds up over time. Something every instance we can utilize a kid to do something, give them credit, would be great. So, and if you're interested in doing that, you don't have to come to me. You can go straight to Southside School, and you can tell them that you're interested in providing that access for kids to do community service. Okay. All right. Special council meeting, we referred to that earlier a little bit. October the 2nd, we will have a special meeting at 6 p.m. to review our ordinance book. Would you like to speak a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So, since I'm glad that's what y'all have done from a scheduling standpoint and it's on my calendar. But basically what I'd like to do is certainly solicit y'all's input on anything and everything. I'm gonna review it myself. And so what I was thinking is if everybody, and I know this sounds weird because I know we're all so accustomed to this digital age of ours, but sometimes there's nothing better than just printing that stuff up and being able to handwrite your comments on it. And I feel like that would be a productive way to spend that night, but obviously if we need to do that ahead of time too and prep for it, let's do that. And so, you know, from my standpoint, there's definitely going to be some things that need to be updated. There's going to be some things that need to be tweaked. There may be some things that we need to add, obviously, some new ordinances. And, you know, when it comes to getting all that, you know, collated and updated and all the things, I think, Pam, you had mentioned Municipal League does a lot of things.
They do the codification.
That's right.
Yes.
So, this, you know, is exactly the way it should go in terms of, you know, the prep for it, if you will. So I do think a special meeting is appropriate, and then take up take up any approvals perhaps maybe at the regular meeting, which I would assume is, when is the October regular meeting?
Yeah, or October 1.
Cause I know that's a
Second Tuesday.
Thursday, right? So
Yeah,
second Tuesday's not gonna be till like the 13th or
something like
something
that.
around
we got a
there.
couple weeks there.
14th, okay.
14, yeah.
Well, that's good too, because again, you know, if we've got a little gap there for even more comments and whatnot afterwards, that's a good thing. I think this needs to be a good collaborative effort, you know, with everybody's input on it. And certainly I'll come to the table that night and ahead of schedule with some observations and comments about specific ordinances that I think need some overhauling. And you know, in looking what I've looked at so far, which admittedly is not a lot in its current form, you know, there's probably several that can just be purged and repealed. And I think we had talked about that before, that this is about getting out all the chaff, if you will, and making sure that this is a much leaner and more understandable, you know, collection of ordinances. And so I think it's a good thing. I think it's time for it, you know, for sure. And I think that especially as this town grows, and there's been so much discussion, of course, amongst y'all and me as well about, you know, what kind of growth-oriented ordinances will the city need in the future. Some are very and I think, you know, not to dig too far into specific types of ordinances, but, you know, for instance, what Brian was talking about, the rural preservation ordinance. I actually read something today about it, which was very interesting. If y'all ever heard of the town, and I'm sure you have, Bug Scuffle, have y'all read about this?
No, I haven't.
So, they are in, I don't remember exactly which county now. I'll send this to y'all as a link if you want to look through it, but it's kind of about, you know, they're so small that they don't have a government, you know what I mean? And so you got people there who are literally like, we don't want subdivisions, we don't want development, but they're not anti, it's just that they want to live that lifestyle, so to speak. And I think that's like a pretty low extreme example. You know, Damascus has commercial activity and y'all want growth, but you want it to be responsible, you know? And so if there comes a time again for a planning commission to be established and some ordinances as an extension of that, you know, your classic example is planning commission comes to fruition and they adopt a simple zoning ordinance, you know, and I think that there's room for that here. I think there's room for, you know, providing for minimum acreages on certain things. I think y'all have a lot of tools at your disposal as a city council to be able to say, we want this area to be preserved a certain way, or we want the whole town to be. Again, I think you want to do things that kind of straddle the fence. You know, you want to promote growth, but you want to make sure that you keep Damascus the same feel it's got, you know. And so it's kind of hard to toe that line sometimes and figure out what's best for any community. And obviously it's very, very difficult when you say, well, you know, Clinton's got one. Yeah, that's Clinton, you know, and I don't know what the logic would be behind their adoption of one. But then you have also a lot of people who are fearful of, and I don't think it's ever going to happen in Faulkner County, because frankly, I think it would have happened a long time ago, and now I think it's too big to unpack this, but countywide zoning just doesn't exist in Arkansas for this very reason. You know, they want to leave it up to the communities to set their standards, and I think that's definitely an admirable direction to go. You know, and Damascus has experienced some growth and some positive change, and I think you can still piggyback that with, hey, we're still going to stay Damascus, you know, and stay to our roots, but also again welcome, you know, new changes that might be good. And you know, from a residential perspective, with there being so much undeveloped property, just even within the city of Damascus, you know, you want to have some control over that. I do agree. And if you're going to let builders come into the town and build subdivisions, you want it done responsibly and according to some standards. And you know, I think it's important to, as we look at all the ordinances, I think that's the thing y'all have to keep in mind is so many of these were adopted at a time when, forget about growth, there wasn't any interest in it, and it wasn't happening, you know. Now's a little different attitude about some things, and so there's going to be a lot of that stuff that's antiquated that goes, and then there's going to be a lot of stuff that you guys are going to want to start looking at to develop the next chapter for this town, you know. So whatever questions y'all have of me, please ask. You know, I think that I really feel like this is a good step to take. It's aggressive and hopefully progressive too.
We have talked to the municipal league, they already have all of our ordinances that we have on the books to
Right.
codify, but they're waiting on us to go through them to make sure that, because there's several that probably just needs to go bye-bye.
And I think that there can be, maybe at the October regular meeting, by the time we get to that, we'll have basically made a list of, okay, here's what goes, here's what stays, here's what changes, here's what doesn't, I mean, if you think about it in pretty basic categories like that, and you just look at them one by one, it's gonna be real easy to tell if one of them matters anymore or not.
Right.
And so what I want you guys to do to help me out, and I'll help y'all out with my commentary and input on this, is literally go through there and say, hey, this ordinance, what's the point? Because I'll say, I don't know, let's get rid of it if it doesn't make sense. So like I said, what we may do that night is literally go through it page by page kind of thing, and figure out what works and what doesn't, and what we need to do from there.
Sounds good. Any questions? Okay, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, we've already referred to the November regular meeting being changed to Thursday, November the 13th, 6 p.m. We will begin with the water board meeting. Any concerns from the council? Hearing none. Bank statements reviewed.
I make a motion, okay.
I'll second.
Motion made and second to accept the bank statements as reviewed and approved. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion made and second to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Thank you guys for attending. Appreciate you.
Oh.